G'day and welcome to the Early Crow episode 51. It's grand final week and we're back and we're brought to you by Makita. Right now, get amazing bonuses with selected Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max kits and combos. Limited time only. Visit makita.com.au for details. Makita XGT. More intelligent, more efficient, more power, more Makita. Boys, we'll start with you, Tommy. An enormous, monumental, exhilarating win on Friday night in front of a packed SCG in what looked to me to be absolutely outstanding conditions. Three of the best. Job done. On to next week. How was it?
Good, mate. It was good. We were pretty sharp, and like you said, the conditions were just perfect. Couldn't get much better, and the crowd was absolutely humming as well. So it was a great win. We played very well. Port hung in there for a while, but it was good to sort of kick away in the end, and go on to next week into another grand final.
And you're 100 and... How many you played? 190, 80?
Yeah, 180, I think.
180 games. Has the crowds in Sydney ever been bigger and had more energy than they do this season?
I reckon this would have to be, this year would have to be the best I've seen it since I've started playing. I reckon we'd have in Sydney, I reckon we'd cover NRL. I reckon we'd have the most fans go to a game than any NRL team over the whole year as well. They'll probably even have more fans. More games in Sydney as well. I reckon we'd probably play 13, 14 games. We would have an average of, 35. Yeah, we had 44 on the weekend, but I reckon over an average we'd have 35, 40,000. So I think we're building to be the biggest sporting team in Sydney, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, on the weekend it showed that 45,000 there on the weekend, and yeah, it's good stuff.
It must be a lot of fun then to be the sort of igniter for the biggest team in Sydney. I couldn't cop the Channel 7 commentary after what they did in the Port Hawks game last week. I said no. So I paused it slightly. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb and I connected to Triple M for the majority of the game. And that box, just like, they love when you go near it. And when you got stuck into Willie and Willie got stuck into you, there was just excitement in the box, and it sounded like it went off its head at the game. Did you look for that contact, or did he bless you with it?
Oh, mate, he's just stood right in front of my way, in front of my celebration. And, well, I don't know. It was, I was like, well, we did this last time I played, and it seemed to work, so let's go again. But, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a bit of white line fever. He sort of come at me and I sort of went back at him, and there was some words thrown around, that's for sure. I think Butters was into me pretty hard, and I was into Willie, I know that much. Willie wasn't too happy with me.
Was Annie impressed with the Wayne Carey style jumper rip?
Got the rug out as well, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of ruggage. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Her shoot.
It was I'll keep that jumper, and she was pretty happy with it, I think. Well, she's not a big fan of the rug, but I don't mind it.
But let's roll back over the NRL comment. I don't think we need to guess. They claimed 20,000 there at the SFS, whatever they're calling it these days, next door as you were playing. I was watching it. There might have been like 20,000 feet there. I think there was probably about 10,000 human beings.
Yeah.
It was dire.
I think the AFL has taken over in the next. I think I'd confidently say in the next 5 years, the NRL will be getting worried. I reckon the AFL is just going bananas up here. It's even the kids, just down the park, the dog park, just before these young school kids, they start noticing you a bit more now, and because they're starting to play a bit more AFL, they're running around with an AFL ball, not an NRL ball. So it's good to see.
Do you know why there was?
Hey, I'm sorry, Praddy, but I'm sure you were, like I was. I was surprised that he said he picked up that poo. That
Yeah,
Murph dropped. Now it all makes sense. He was spotted.
if I was able to get into your comment, Dicko, I think you said what were the odds that perhaps picks up the pool bet $1.25 for $5? I would have had the account on $1.25. So I'm glad you said something before I had a bet.
Now we know. We didn't. I didn't factor into my pricing model that there were kids there that recognised him.
Yeah, there's a few people there.
Yeah, fair enough. You know why there was no crowds there on Saturday night at the NRL? Yeah, because they knew that Pats was driving to the game on Friday night. They didn't want any bingles.
Yeah.
You got to the game all right? No dramas?
Yeah, got to the game, yeah, all good. Left a bit early just in case there was a drama, but I got there on time and it was good.
Is it pure luck, class, momentum? Is there a cause to how clean and sharp you guys were on Friday night? Not just in front of goal. I think that is a bit of momentum and luck, but all around the ground. It was like calm, precise, controlled, and thoughtful football.
Yeah, it was. It was probably when you look over our season, we've sort of had bad quarters here or there, but it was probably one of our most complete performances for the year. Just our game plan, what we set out to do, we did, and I think the backs stood up early in that first half. Our clearance numbers weren't great in the first half, but our backs were able to win the ball because they were getting so much territory, and then we were just going off turnover and spreaded him, and I think we scored a lot off turnover, and that's a big part of the game. And when you got some really good kicks and hard runners like we do, it's can be easy to score off the back of. So, and then in the second half, our mids sort of evened it up, and we put the foot down again. So, very proud of the boys, and I just can't wait to get out this Saturday, and hopefully it's another performance like that.
Let's move on to Saturday for you, or do we want to go over the Geelong Brizzy game, Praddy?
I think we've got to touch on the other game of footy, don't we? Pretty good game, Dicko.
It was a bloody great game of football.
Mm.
A little bit less umpired than Friday night. I think it was 50 free kicks Friday night. It couldn't have been 50 on Saturday. It rolled a little bit more than it did Friday night. Wow. Big game. What was your highlight, Praddy? What were your thoughts on the contest that was?
I thought
Lions versus the Cats.
I thought Joe Danaher was pretty good when he had to basically go in and solo ruck. I think he filled a pretty big hole for Omac. Obviously, he was pretty gallant in getting back out there and then having to go back off again. I reckon I'd love to get your take on it, Dicko, or perhaps probably better suited. Did Geelong just go into their shell a little bit? Or did Brisbane just get the momentum and just keep going? Because I watched a bit of it Saturday night, and then I watched most of it on Sunday. I watched the replay in the morning. I couldn't work out if Geelong tried to just hold on, or if Brisbane just had so much momentum that there was nothing they could do.
I feel like footy at the moment, it's like if you get too far ahead, it's almost a setback sometimes. Geelong looked deadly when they had to be at the end. But yeah, I think you're right. And they had a real setback with I've forgotten his name, but the good midfielder who hurt himself, who sat on the bench and lost Holmes, and they lost the rotation for like 20 minutes when the sting was really in the game. But Brisbane just look like they're absolutely fearless. Like they bet the bank again and again and again, and they're prepared to wipe out.
Brisbane, uncontested mark team, and they like to chip around, and in the second half they were a lot more daring and wanted to take the game on a lot more. And it's not really them, a bit more chaos style they were playing with in the second half. So sort of out of their character a little bit. They did the same with the Giants. So when they weren't going that well. So it's going to be interesting what way they go this week. They usually chip mark and uncontested mark a lot. But in that second half, they sort of went through the corridor, handball receives, Zorko and McCluggage breaking lines. It was good to watch. It was one of the great prelim finals I've seen. And just guys like Rayner that was a bit quiet in the first half and stood up, and the second half, that's why you got those players. So he'll be one to watch on Saturday for sure. So it's going to be a cracker.
I think he had 14 of his 18 touches in the second half, kicked one goal too. Genuinely tore the game open for him.
He took a hanger though as well. Like he took a hanger kind of like in the way they weren't hangers, but Logan McDonald like hit up all night for the Swans, and that release when you get that mark on the wing, it's like, all right, we are out now. Let's try and score a goal. And they needed that hanger so bad at that moment, and he was enormous. I agree.
I think you're kicking on into the forward line on Friday night. Perhaps that was definitely a highlight for you boys. I thought the service into the forward line was pretty good all night.
Yeah, I think we had 120 something uncontested marks. If we're doing that, means we're moving the ball pretty well and moving it well, so it was good.
Do you and Juz talk to each other before the game and go, mate, like if I feed you one, make sure you get me one back, yeah? Like I just think like when Juz had that ball on the wing, me and Dicko obviously couldn't see who was in the forward line, but in the back of my brain I was going, he's kicking this straight to Paps, he's in the goal square. And he laced you out, that'll do. Thank you, Juz. Much appreciated.
Yeah, there's another one. I sort of slipped as well. He could have got me twice, but anyway.
Did see the old. Sorry, mate.
Unbelievable stuff from our man, Juzzy.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
He was
5 minutes earlier, he was unable to kick a drop punt 35 metres straight. Then he gets one out on the edge on the boundary line and does a 60-metre bullet pass. It's like, 12 foot high on a dime to you.
Yeah, I cost him this. He cost me an assist as well.
Oh, love it. So what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Are you pep talking to each other at the start of the game or what? Or is it that just come naturally now that there's that Paps Juz connection?
We do talk a bit. We sort of get us in the game, get us in the game. I think he hit me up early in the first quarter as well, just to get me involved. So it's always good.
And then one last one on your game as well. It must be a luxury for blokes just seeing Heaney and going, if I just put this half a metre in front of him and let him have a run and jump of the ball, like he's going to mark it 80% of the time, and if not, it's going to fall to roughly the same area all the time as well.
Yeah, his one-on-one stuff is just ridiculous. His last two games have been incredible, so hopefully he can have another one and just keep rolling the ball, keep going.
That was brilliant by Jakey Lloyd, that play you're speaking of. Bro.
Yeah, it was good,
he called the, I don't know who
Campbell,
it was, Campbell to lead to get the space. Like he orchestrated the whole thing and just said, I'll put on your head and you'll take a mark.
Yeah.
And then as Pap said last week, there's not a better little snapper of the pillar. That was over the black dot.
Yeah, he's left and right hands. He's good.
It's good. Sets up for a cracking game this weekend. I'm looking forward to Saturday already.
Should we roll into that?
Why not?
What's the week look like, and how are you going to handle it?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a different week. We go down on Thursday, so we'll train Wednesday. Day off tomorrow, so it's important just to keep doing what you usually do, and I'll do some form tomorrow, do some recovery, and go for a swim and whatnot. Sit in the sun a little bit, not too much, but just important to just keep doing what I would usually do as a normal week. Keep your mind off it a bit, save your energy, and then just sort of when you're training, it's focusing on what you need to nail, and with the game plan, meetings, just really honing in on that 2 or 3 hours that we're training for, and then when you get off that, you relax again. So it's really important to save that energy and narrow your focus down.
Are there any learnings from the other grand finals? Things you've done differently, or you're going to change?
I think.
I mean, in preparation, like in your week.
Yeah. Well, I think probably just like I just said, I sort of wouldn't usually. I was doing extra recovery or extra stuff to get myself right, but I'll just sort of keep it the same, or I wouldn't do some racing stuff, form stuff. So I'll just keep my basics, what I do each week. So I think I went away from that and changed a lot in 2022. I was worrying about too much of the game. I've got a grand final this week, but reality, it's you just got to keep your routine the same. Just you do you, and what keeps you happy each week is going to get your best out of yourself come the weekend. So I think that's really important. I think we've obviously spoke about the 22 and the learnings from it previously. So it's exciting.
What are you most looking forward to about Saturday? Is it just getting on the ground and playing, or are you excited to just have that obviously camaraderie? You're down with all the boys. You're here Thursday night. You're with them basically 24/7. Is that something you look forward to in this week?
Yeah, it's sort of a tough one. I think the best thing about playing footy is standing like on the weekend, is standing in where you run out at the SCG and just standing there. You got your 30, 40 seconds of just looking at each other in the eye saying, fuck, we've got this, we're going to do this today. And it's like, I just get tingles thinking about that now. So just thinking about that on Saturday is like, fuck, when we're looking up at the MCG, that ramp, thinking, fuck, this is the last time we do this for this year, probably with this team to create a story. So, yeah, it's just what you dream about. So that's what I'm probably most excited about, is standing next to these fucking 23 of your mates, giving that one last crack to win a premiership.
I can't concentrate. I'm getting tingles myself.
yeah,
I'm
that's
serious.
I
Like Friday
generally got a little
night,
wave
I
then.
distracted myself all day just as a supporter, as a lifelong blood. I did things all day to distract myself, and about 6:30 it started to hit me. I was anxious and sick waiting for it to start.
I thought you were going to end up in the fucking Melbourne Flower and Garden Show. You had that much of a crack in the garden on Friday, mate. You've never wanted to do so much gardening in your life.
I just wanted to put some crops in the front paddocks, so right time of year to get them going, you know.
Fair.
They're in, they're away. So far so good. One of them got attacked by something last night. I don't know what it was.
Really?
Yeah. I might need to get... Would your old man know what he's doing? Just with veggies and growing and...
Fuck, not with veggies. I doubt it.
I don't know what I'm dealing with. Snails or caterpillars, but something's getting stuck into one of them. We'll see how we go tomorrow morning. It's an adventure and we're on it. All right. So we get to Melbourne when? Thursday. Imagine if Praddy was in Melbourne. It was in Sydney. He wouldn't be able to come. I'd have to figure out a way.
Fucked.
Praddy doesn't fly for anyone that's slow on the in-gags we've been going with. Fly down Thursday, settle in Thursday afternoon, be a little kick around Thursday afternoon, I guess. And then Friday is the grand final parade, correct?
Yeah, a bit of a chill day Thursday, and we'll just get there, relax, and not much, just have a day to yourself. I'll be probably doing a little bit of form or something, I'd say. And then, yeah, just chill out Thursday night. And then Friday's the parade, so which is in the cars this time. We did it in the Yarra last time.
And who have we got?
I reckon I'll be. I think I might be the judge, so that'll be an interesting. I don't even know how long it goes for, but yeah, it'd be gold to get some microphones on me and Juzz for that 45 to an hour, whatever it is. But
what would be
yeah,
gold is Streets or 7-Eleven or someone to get on board out wide third-party sponsorship, and you guys could be like, remember when you were kids and you had like the street Santa and they drive down in a ute and you just toss out lollies?
That's
an opportunity.
That is going to be one hell of a car ride. Whoever's driving that car, I'd make sure all the windows are closed.
Righto, it's the grand final parade. Kicks off, we think, about 10 o'clock, I'm assuming, Friday morning, if you want to get there. What sort of lollies should someone have if they want to toss one your way?
strawberry natural confectionery like milk thing. Strawberry, you know what I'm talking about?
Strawberry and cream.
Yep.
Strawberry cream, natural confectionery, they're my favourite, so throw one my way if you can.
Which bloke within the squad, player or coach, most excited to see a bit of Katy Perry?
Jeez. Monty Buchanan, I reckon he'd love a bit of Katy Perry, I reckon. Amon Buchanan.
He'd be gutted he's going to miss the Golden Rose, wouldn't he? That's the AFL. What a week it was last week. What a week it is. Upcoming, the grandest of stages. We can't wait to watch it. And, mate, we're all behind you and the boys, praying to every god, Zeus, Allah, Bilbo Baggins, Mary Poppins, the works, that you have a blinder and the boys get the job done. Good luck.
Go the Swannies.
Rugby League. Sharkies, Praddy, who got on to socials and cut up his own reel. Some of your best work ever. I was so proud of you. To sit off his own bat too, punters, if you're playing at home. He found a $2 favourite in Adelaide. The Sharkies at the line.
$1.60 and $2.32, by the way.
Yeah, value. Hey, winners win.
Love it.
Right, winners win.
Love it.
Both NRL games lacked a fair bit. The Cowboys, obviously, we paid very little attention to it because it was on when the Swans were on. Sharks kicked away. Cowboys came back a little bit. It looked half close. I saw Valentine Holmes go down like shot. I think he might have snapped an Achilles. Looked awful. But the Sharkies now have to play Penrith. Good luck. And the Roosters absolutely annihilated Manly. who were very lucky, I think, to get past the Bulldogs. They now have to go and play the Storm. The Storm finished first, and they copped the Roosters in the prelim. Funny how it works sometimes. I bet you they'd rather be playing the Sharkies this week to get into a grand final, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Any thoughts, takeaways, opinions on the weekend's NRL, or is it just a bit of a distraction as we head towards the big dance?
Yeah, I reckon it was Roosters was just a bit of a training drill, but Victor Radley playing with a fractured scapula or something is pretty ridiculous. That would have to hurt. He's obviously got a bit of juice in there, but it's like a 6 to 12 week injury, I think. I think that's what Gary Ablett played with that time in the grand final. So he's obviously a tough bugger, Victor, the inflictor. So, but yeah, it was a bit of a boring old weekend in the NRL.
I watched the KO mini of the Sharks game, and I thought from what they showed, Trindle's game was outrageous for the Sharks. He helped steer that ship with Hines and put in some big runs and offloaded plenty of ball. I thought he was outstanding in the highlights that they cut up. So that might have only been the three good things he did for all game, but he obviously went on a big way to win it. And what a Friday night we've got! We've got Storm Roosters, we've got the Fian and the Manikato.
Growing Empire's accepted.
Oh, what
Really?
a Friday night that's going to be! You reckon I can ask him to put the game on the big screen at Moonee Valley or what?
The Storm game will be on the big screen at Moonee Valley.
You reckon?
I would.
If it was AFL, it'd be a lock. NRL, 50-50.
100%. No, but it's the Storm.
True.
Melbourne loves the Storm.
Yeah, no, it should be a good night on Friday night at the
If it
Valley.
was Penrith versus the Sharks game, wouldn't be on.
That
I
should
think
be
it'll
good.
be on.
Great Friday
and then
night.
they'll cut out for the race.
Yep.
And they do that jump song that they love at the Valley. That's way too loud in the grandstands.
Jump around by House of Pain.
Oh, Ross Brody loves that song so much. Really, really loves it. Yeah, it's an outstanding Friday night, isn't it? You're going, are you?
Yeah, I
Shall we
reckon
roll
I'm
into
gonna
the ponies now? Brought to you by CTW Excavations. They shall go where the big boys won't. Find them on Instagram. Get involved. We'll skip the golf. Rory choked again a little bit. It was a good tournament, good time slot to accompany the footy over the weekend.
I think we should. It'd be remiss of us not to mention Billy Ho about. I reckon every bloke in our golf club's been on him at some point, and he's finally got one across the line. So at $21, he was a nice little bet for. I think it was Chad, Dan, Wilbur,
Paddy.
and a couple of others, and Paddy as well. Yep, and Cars as well. So good tipping and betting by them. But yeah, Billy Horschel actually getting it done.
Speaking of good tipping, Matty Punt's 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 in the NFL this morning. He's sort of backed up a little bit of his annoying chat that he's had throughout this NFL season. On the other hand,
He's done the opposite.
the Cross has not. 1-8. 1-8 he is.
Extraordinary stuff. What about he's saying the Raiders? The Raiders -6, best bet of the whole year. They got flogged.
They got dusted. Proper dusted.
Eyes on Ponies, brought to you by CTW Excavations. They go where the big boys don't. An awful track for early betting at Caulfield. Rails and run again, cast. Honestly, quicksand. My theory is that they rolled the track because there was a little bit of rain around, yet didn't have the brain power to move the rail to where the roller gets to. And there was a part next to the rail where they didn't roll. It was softer, and it was a big disadvantage for horses there. Now, we can move and pivot and handle that as punters race to race, and we did that really well on Saturday, our group. But, if we managed to get a fix there or until Valhalla and they drew inside and they couldn't win, you'd be absolutely headless on a good 4 track in Melbourne on a big day. So
Yeah, all you had at the last leg of the multi and a little deep.
From barrier 3, she's entitled to sort of find the fence. She kind of has to in a big field. Revolutionary Miss, on the other hand, the thing they all backed late, barrier 8 found the fence. A very, very interesting day that will have significant consequence to the remainder of the Spring Carnival. Plenty of good horses. There'll be a stack of Group 1 winners that raced this meeting. I think one of them is Another Will. Improved again on what he did first up. but just gently. Did it in inferior ground, so you can add on a length or two if you like. I shall. Loses Jamie Carr for at least the next run, maybe the next run after that with this suspension.
Bit of a bump with Shin as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got rubbed out. Been a setback for myself. We have Lazy Susan, Marshall Music. One as well is that she's ridden really well and is ready to go and win. And then she got rubbed out. So then we booked Blake Shin.
Oh, no.
And then he got rubbed out.
You getting King Kong on or what?
Depending on weight. Questions have been asked. Yeah, back to another Will. Put him in your black book. He's progressive horse. He'll win a Group 1 this spring. He's aimed at the 2-rack handicap. One for Uncle Chris, Tommy, that you might have a bit of a better grip on than I do. I just thought his run, or her run on Saturday was outstanding first up. I'm going to try and pronounce it, but bear with me. Lynchy Boulevard.
The Lynchy Boulevard, yeah. I reckon I backed that in its first. I reckon it was going around the midweeks. I reckon I backed it before around the midweeks. Come out, obviously improved a lot.
It's a nice horse. First up for Waller. Not suited big time versus the race. Savage the line. In for a lovely preparation. Look for her in sort of group race, but mare's race or fillies. I think it might be a mare. I don't know. It's a female. Quick Star. PG Moody. Returned super. Savage the line. 7th best last 600 metres of the day. Really, really liked what it did. Comrade Rosa for Tony Golan. It's deep into a prep, this mare, but savage the line. 9th fastest last 200 metres of the day. After copying possibly the worst ride I've ever seen in the history of a Group 1 meeting. Joe Marira from Barrett 12 in the last race of the day when nothing had won all week, all day long. 9 races on the fence. He snicked from 12 and found the fence. And he held the fence the whole way home. And this thing still savaged the line. In for a big preparation. Jimmy Starr returned and jammed us all right square in the Dark North Star. Potentially, would this have been a bigger collect than our famous...
Yeah, we had 1 unit on it.
Osmosis
returned, I think, 23 units for the Crow.
21,
This would have been 44.
50. And the rest, 49 of the best it would have been.
Yeah, 44 is lingering in my brain because that might be the average price.
Oh, take me through what you were thinking. At the 200, I didn't even know Jimmy's Star was racing.
Well, you know how I call races. I'm talking to the jockey, and when I saw her head, early on, we're on it, and I'm also on Jungle Gym.
Yeah, which was outside it.
So I'm thinking, she's travelling deluxe. She is travelling like real good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, kick. And then she did this little look. And I'm like, don't look, just ride, just ride your horse. And then she's felt them coming right over her shoulder and she's changed her action and really got into it. I knew we got dusted in the photo. It took forever. Filthy about it. Nothing in the steward's report. J. Carr got 3 weeks or whatever she got for not taking a gap on a very windy day. And I'd like to see my horses ridden to the line, particularly ones that are right in the finish. I was really disappointed about it, and I think that was birthday stuff for Ashford Street, and we're not going to get $44 next time it goes around. What did you guys think when you were watching it?
I'm sick. As soon as I said she's looked around, and then when I seen that thing coming, I was like, oh my God, you're kidding. But
yeah, because it's like you're not J-Mac. Don't look over your shoulder. You haven't got everything figured out. Just ride the horse, please.
Exactly.
I took a little bit more. So what were we on, about 40s or so? I took a little bit more Betfair BSP, and I usually lay, if they're that big, I usually lay a little bit back at $1.20 and $1.10. And at the 200, at the 200, I'm like, home. Like, what are we worried about, And then as these things close, and I'm thinking, I didn't fucking lay that back, did I? Did not lay a cent of it back to get stake or a little bit more. So
apparently, Jimmy Star, did you tell me trade 400 to 1 in run?
Yep.
Ashford Street $1.04.
Yep. And Jimmy's Star $400. Yep. Hurt.
Crook stuff.
Almost a great great weekend. But anyway, the punt giveth, the punt taketh.
The great
The Group 1 Underwood was 800 metre race. Buckaroo for Uncle Chris came from Sydney. Did you back it last start in Sydney, perhaps?
Yeah, I was didn't mind it all last prep, and it sort of just didn't come on.
This prep.
Yeah, and second prep in Australia.
He's exploded like a big peak, a fat peak, improved 5 lengths on everything it's ever done in its life. Obviously loved the brutal tempo. They went about, top of my head, they went about 10 lengths, 9 lengths faster than the class to the 600, and it's a Group 1 class. So, like, really, really, really intense pressure in this race. The two horses that loved it was Buckaroo and Hoyter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hoyter was like off the bit of the 800 and just got through its gears. Like, it is a grinder. I'd love to see Hoyter in a Caulfield Cup, and I think Buckaroo will probably go to something like a Cox Plate now because it's a big fat number they've run. Super, super impressive. That horse we started talking about but then forgot in Jimmy Star, those Caulfield 1100 metre figures can be a little bit fat. But it's a legitimate number. It's an enormous number. It's very, very significant. Like Jimmy Star would beat I Am Me off that. To put it in context, should we go now and talk about I Am Me? And
what a segue!
Fangirl.
Fuck, you've done this before. Well done, lovely segue.
Not a lot of tempo early in those races, either of them, Tom, but they've really professionally got through their gears, savaged the line. Very hard to tell from your point of view, even J-Mac's point of view, what is left under the bonnet for Fangirl, because I felt like there was a couple more revs there if they needed them.
Yeah, I thought we were going on IME race, but we're going...
Sorry, I'm just talking shit.
2 weeks in a row. Love it.
Yeah, well, we touched on IME. And, yeah, I think looking at IME... The last two, it's obviously great runs, but it's probably PR runs and blessed. Or you look at thinking about the Everest, can it go on to win an Everest? I think it's obviously got to get a slot. I'd be taking Steffi Magnetica, I think, before IME, or even like someone that's been there before, Private Eye, who was back and wide. 3 or 4 wide and ran the fastest last 200 of the race. That can draw a gate. I think that could probably go all right as well. They're probably I think the only sort of two that, or the three that you'd take out of the race, I think, to go onto an Everest. But it just keeps fronting up and going again. So yeah, it's doing what it has to do. It's won nicely 2 times in a row. So yeah, there's actually one of my locker sponsor. I don't know if I've said this, but he's got a fair chunk of this IME. So
really,
yeah. So
I think she's won. I think she's 6-year-old and won 3.6 million.
Yeah. Where is she? She's yeah. Where's 22 starts, 10 wins. But yeah, it'd be a nice horse to own. I think the Everest is going to be interesting. What sort of happens there? But yeah, it was a good win by me. I think Steffi Magnetica, like I said, big run, huge run from the back.
Is that a bit of a progression for Steffi from the B graders to the A graders?
Yeah, because obviously come through that
Queensland Carnival.
Yeah, Queensland Carnival. Yeah, I think sort of. You look with the punting form and the top rater sort of look at it. First up, it's ran a big number on sort of what way you look at it. But it's first up, it's got plenty of improvement. I think it's run a good number to go on from that again. It's better numbers over the 1400, so it's obviously going to be that 1200 will be good again. But yeah, it's in for a great prep. Steffi Magnetica draws a gate. I don't see why they wouldn't sort of give it a slot. So, yeah, good run.
So the horses we're taking out of that race are Private Eye and Steffi Magnetica.
Yeah, obviously IME as well, but
No
it'd be
value,
interesting.
though, you're saying.
Yeah, no value. So, and Steffi can. IME's going to be on the speed. It's a speed horse. Steffi Magnetic can sit off, and a bit similar to Private Eye Week, and Everest is obviously high pressure race. Them two might just sit in the midfield and get that perfect run in the Everest.
What about Fangirl? I thought she had a heap up her sleeve should she have needed it.
Like, not suited at all. Just getting it up.
Had no favours in run, was able to build nicely, let down like the freak that she is, and put the race away.
Yeah, had a bit to go as well, so just, I think we're 5 lengths slower than the class or something like that, I think it was off the top of my head, but just a big win. Good horse, they backed it in as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting though. It's obviously racing pattern. Does it go to the Cox Plate again? It's a tough race. It's not, is
Waller
it?
basically came out and said it's not going. It's going to be kept to 1,600 metres. And what's that race at the end of the Flemington Carnival?
Champions Mile.
Might be the only time it races in Victoria, over 1,600.
The Flemington Straight was suited down to a T, you'd think. Wind up, give it plenty of time, so it's not a bad
He just knew how much he had underneath him, J-Mac, didn't he? When you were just watching him in run, he just didn't panic at all and just knew that the horse was travelling and it just let go. It's great to see. I love watching horses when they win like that. You want to favour those on speed, as you've spoken about a number of times, Dicko. Like, if you're running the same time from point A to point B, but you're 5 metres behind, the horse in front does have the favours. But I do absolutely love seeing horses when they have a turn of foot like that and they blouse the field. It's great to see.
It's potentially like half. I have a hard time trusting anything that comes out of that sort of like these stables. I think they're just making content, but say they are aiming her just at 600 metre races, potentially she could get better. Sharpened up, trained for that instead of, you're just sort of training it to go, we'll probably go to the Cox Plate. That's a very different preparation. So, very, very exciting horse. Her vulnerability is her, not only her lack of tactical speed, but her vulnerability is wet tracks. So, time will tell. As a betting opportunity, I think you always just need to triple check the bomb if you're looking to get set on Fangirl on a Wednesday, because she's a superstar, yes, but she needs the track to be, soft fire or better. And she, again, like, Pabst is doing a phenomenal job against the Wolf Den Praddy. Another strong set again.
Another one, Autumn Glow. It was. I wasn't sure what they would do with Autumn Glow. I sort of thought potentially go back, but J-Mac was pinging the leads all day, wasn't he? He was pinging the leads all day. The intent he rode with on the weekend was just incredible. It's why he's one of the best. And he just sat outside leader and got all the favours out in front on Autumn Glow. And if he didn't do that, I don't reckon he would have probably won the race. So I had it back. As soon as it landed outside leader, I was like, geez, this is over. So, it was a good ride by J-Mac. Autumn Glow, what goes to the Flight Stakes, is it?
Flight Stakes when it's
Flight
done.
Stakes, last run for the prep. That Snowy May was a good run as well. Looks like it's going to be a handy horse for the O'Shea's. Good little run up the fence. Unsuited a little bit, so there's one you could probably take out of it.
And what about your horse in the last that just finished off a nice day for you there in Sydney? At what point did you sort of put down the B-Tuffs and just enjoy it?
Yeah, it was just
150?
another peach. Yeah, another peach by J-Mac. It's always nice when you sort of find those ones that just sit there and you just in run. You're like, oh yeah, this is setting up exactly how it worked out. So the wind chat come out, which was sort of a bit annoying because that was holding the juice in the price, and I reckon it would have beat that anyway. So, but anyway, we take the win and we move on. It was good win by Moravia.
We almost put the Wolf Den to bed on Saturday too, because we had Ashford Street there as well.
That would have
50 on the nose. We had
50 at 49s.
Painful week for me on the Big
The
events.
amount of times you've been run over like that on the line the last month has been ridiculous.
The worst was when we spoke today. I was reviewing Sandown like properly again, and I had to like watch Martial Music, which I had a massive crack at. It was because I had Lenny. Here we go. Here's a story. Righto. So I took both the kids to the races.
Father you type stuff that.
Yeah. On a Wednesday. Let's go to the races again. Took them last time together, and the Genius one. Darcy spewed in the car, which is what I think we didn't get as part of like the in the magic pot that makes winners happen. But took them both. I had another bet in the ring at $5, and I got a minty for the bet. I said, "Oh, can I have another minty?" Because I got 2 kids with me, and she goes, "Yep, sweet." So I gave them the minties. We go upstairs, talk to the owners. Kids run around like Darcy's getting real hard to manage. Stressful. Get them up the top there at Sandown, Praddy. If you
up that little stairwell.
Yeah. They're into their minties. So I give them the minties as that we go up the stairs to try and stop them running around and let me watch my race.
Yep. Give them more through that. Perfect.
420 Betfair. Oh, kid. That's in like 4 minutes, and it's gone like 520 to 420. Oh, that's a great sign. Look at my phone, $4. Look at Lenny, because she's whacking me, and she's holding the minty and going, my hand's all sticky, Dad. So I have tissues for Dars. I pull out the tissues and I wipe her hands. I look down like she's doing it and I'm doing it as they're loading, and she's got like white furry hands as if she's just sticking to all the bits of minty. Torture. Look at my phone, $3.90 Martial Music. I barely watched the race because I was getting yelled at by both kids. I didn't realise how close it was.
Oh,
When it came to me, it was over. I watched the replay today. Like, we go to win. We're winning. And he stops.
Yep.
We march on. We've got to toughen up. We've got to just reset and find another way. But I've got set for 3 significant results through the week, and 2 of them should have won. And we won't speak about Rick's Cafe again after I review it. That was bad. Rick was
weird,
bad.
Weird run. I thought it was done, and then it just kept kicking. This was race.
Did that make sense to you? You both how I was saying I'd rather a big price in a bigger field and less percentage of it winning, but cause I'd like the tempo. I'd like to be able to win the same amount, bet less. Yep. And I think the tempo with Blake Shin, he'll figure out how. Like, he gave it a peach. He presented it. It looked I spoke to Gav today. It looked on the corner like it was going to run last, and it got through the line again.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it kicked back.
Late last one,
I don't know. The point is, Martial Music pulled up grouse. Pesto went really well on Saturday, pulled up grouse. Lazy Susan's flying. Lazy Susan was beaten. She's pulled up really well. She was beaten by Isthmus, who won super at $1.85 on Sunday, so she looks like she's ready to win. It could be a really exciting little patch for us, and hopefully we can set them in the right races where we can have a little wager.
Nice work.
Love it. Shall we round it out with some viewer questions?
Sounds good, mate.
Anything else to cover off?
Yeah, life tips. What's a life hack?
I've got one for you this week for...
Oh, good.
Yeah, so this was passed on to me. So we had friends coming around last Sunday and they gave us this tip, and I am all about it. So if you've got a little one, especially Dicko, when they're being transferred to beds, which I've heard you have to do multiple times, kids are prone to accidents, right? They might vomit, they might be crook, they might piss themselves overnight or whatever. When you make the bed, you put the mattress protector, then a sheet, then pop another mattress protector over the top of it and another sheet, so you double up. If they piss through one, it doesn't matter. You just take the top layer off. You've got a bed ready to go. You don't have to make a bed at 3 a.m. in the morning. So that is one of the best bits of advice I reckon I've ever been given, and it's already been done once on the cot. So you just peel, perhaps this will be right up your alley. You just peel the mattress protector and the sheet off, and you just don't have to think about getting another one. You just change them, pop them back down, and away you go.
We have material sheets that are like waterproof.
Yeah.
That are the width, like they're as long as their body's max, and you tuck them in.
Yeah, right, for the same thing.
Yeah, and I have like 2 or 3 of them, so if he just whip it off, don't move.
Yeah, that was a great
don't
one.
Even change the sheet.
Yep.
Anyway, fascinating stuff. Here's my life hack for this week. Now, this won't apply to everyone, But it's really good value when you get a bit older and you need to be smarter and you can't skip your responsibilities. I live on like a cul-de-sac, and the other side of the street, about a 65 metre, 100 metre walk, is on another bin run. So when it's yellow bins my week, it's green bins theirs. Pump the yellow bin out, go for the walk. Every Sunday night I do it in the dark, put my yellow bin over there, never have any issues with recycling. It's genius.
Mate, that's actually a good one. When you said that to me the other day, Dicko, that is actually genius. Some people aren't lucky enough to live again near 2 bin runs, but that's cheeky. Dicko's getting his recycling picked up every week. That is.
Oh yeah, now I get you.
That is very, very, very cheeky, and I rate that highly. That's a good raw.
Yeah, I got
You just
one
want to
for
be careful to put it. You got to put your bin not near someone else's yellow, because otherwise they won't get you.
Love
What
it.
do you got, Tommy?
Fat Boy electric bikes around Bondi. That's a fucking life hack. Don't have to worry about parking. Just fucking get on your electric bike, towel in the back, boardies, bang.
So you've got one now too.
Yeah, they're mate, unbelievable. If you live in anywhere, Gold Coast or near the beach, anywhere, even around Melbourne, just nip around. No license, helmet on, no license, don't need it. Goes 50k an hour. Just nip around everywhere. Go just right down to the grocery shop, chuck the groceries on the back. Back we go. Elite. Rather than have to find a car park and shit. It's good.
That is a great life hack.
Love
if you
it.
can afford one.
All right,
That's a very good one.
let's duck into some viewer questions. So, Anthony posted on Facebook and asked a question about the Manikato, and then we also have Nash asked about the Golden Rose.
Manikato as it stands, boys. V8's accepted. D-Lane's riding. Climbing Stars in. Dan Stackhouse steers. Southport Tycoon's in. Mark Zara on board. Hayasugi, Clint McDonald, Jay Carr, her last meeting before she goes for a holiday. Estrella, Blake Shin. Recommendation, no rider. Coleman, Karen McAvoy, our man. Growing Empire, accepted, no rider. And Kabulis for Bjorn has Josh Parr.
And then for our analysis, how the races might be run, who we're tipping on top, Captain's Run episode 10 will be in your ears on a Friday morning. We will cover the Friday night Group 1s and maybe the Group 2, the Fian, on Friday, and we'll cover some of the ponies on Saturday.
Golden Rose. Golden Rose, one of the great meetings, great races
Correct.
all time. Saturday, Rose Hill.
Yep. So we will cover those off on Thursday night. We'll record and we'll have them up on Friday. Radio, start with you, Dicko. Who is the best miler in Australian racing right now?
Fangirl.
Paps?
Fangirl.
I'm going to say Brightside, just due to the what it's currently done. We've had a few questions already answered. Marcus asked what your preparation is for the grand final, which we've already covered. And then it was Jacob and Seb asked a couple of questions about what your preparation looks like and are you wrapped to not be floating down the river, so those ones are being covered off, which is great. Bailey, perhaps this one's for you, asks, when you're on the tools as a plumber, how good a plumber were you?
Oh, pretty average was that.
That he just asked the question. I just thought I'd get the answer, that's all. So you're an average plumber, were you?
Yeah, I was alright. Going in my 3rd year. Flooded a few jobs.
Pretty hard to be an average plumber, as long as you work hard, I reckon. Tom would have been a good plumber.
This one's from Blindsy.ols. For Dicko, if Ashford Street had was trained by Dennis Pagan, would it have won? Cheers, Lindsay, big fan.
What I would say to that is if I was younger and saw a really attractive French bird at a train station, I wouldn't be too scared to go and talk to her. I wouldn't. I would speak to her, not just stare at her. Have a great week, Linz.
Love that from Dicko. That's a bit of a return serve. Dicko, we'll start with you. Autumn Glow. How good do we think this horse will be in time? This one's from Adam from Brizzy.
I struggle with these longer-term questions that you sort of can't bet on.
I think we've got $1.80 in the flight stakes coming up.
I expect her to be too good there. The next preparation,
More
though, is the
autumn.
exciting one. It's more about what trip perhaps thinks she's probably going to get to that then references what race she's going to be aiming at and the stock she's going to be against.
I reckon. I
Is
could
she-
be.
is
Just,
she
I could be.
a-
I
is
could.
she's
I
running
could be way
sprinting
out. I
trips now?
could be running the Cox Plate next spring.
Because she's running sprinting sort of trips now, but she's got like a staying stoutish pedigree. So
Yeah, so geez, I don't know. I could be nowhere. I'm not the greatest at this stuff either, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets over 2,000 and runs in a Cox Plate in next spring. Like, what are the good autumn races over 1,600 to 2,000?
Doncaster.
Doncaster, yeah. Handicap. What handicap?
What
What
is
are
there,
we
like the Australian? Is it the Australian Stakes? I think there's a.
What I would say is that the racing industry, sport, needs her to progress. There's a severe lack of talent. Like, IME is no superstar, and we're talking about being an Everest. Mornington Glory's no superstar. Very good horses, but they're not like Lincoln Rupees and these horses that I sort of fell in love with. We need some of these 3-year-olds to go on with it, to take over from the Brightsides and the Pride of Jennies and the Fangirls when they hang them up. So I really hope on Friday night one of the 3-year-olds, from a narrative point of view, obviously I'll find a bet and that's what I hope wins. But as I sit here now, I really hope that one of these 3-year-olds like just blows them away, and we're all going, fucking how good's this horse? Where's it going to go? You know. That's what racing needs. It doesn't need like a Japanese horse to come and win the Cox Plate, which we're going to probably get. I'm not sure what it's called, but it'll win it.
Prognosis.
Yeah, it'll be very hard to beat in the Cox Plate. I assume it's favourite.
It is favourite. The commentary that I've heard is that it potentially misses the kick. How vital could that be around the Valley?
Crucial, but D-Lane and like go watch Liz Crusoe win the Cox Plate. He just
I was there that
was
day.
like 6-7 wide. So was I. He is just arrogant. And the crush on that thing on the tote was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to Pistol Pete. We went to the Geelong Cup together, got Paro, had a huge all-up on something in Perth into that Liz Crusoe to win, like the end of the week or a week after. And he took top tote.
No.
Pissed. And it was like $6 when we did it. And it paid $2.20 or something.
No.
We still won heaps, but like it should have been life-changing money.
Oof.
Yeah.
That hurts. And then the last one for the night. This is from M Last 28. What experience do you take from the last time you're at the G for the big one on a Saturday, perhaps into this week?
I thought they were going to ask me about drinking it. Okay.
Well, I think the last day of the G's passed us. We've moved on from that. We've sort of stared in the face a bit and talked about it, but we've done some things over the last 2 years about this day coming up on Saturday, and we'll be a different side. So
you've lived life. Every good story, what's some of the greatest movies of all time? I'm talking Batman, that sort of shit. Like, he doesn't just win. He gets knocked down and he gets back up and he rises and he fucking wins.
Yep, love it.
How boring would golf be without bunkers?
That'll be good.
Yep, looking forward to Saturday. Does that just about do us for episode 51, the Early Crow to go?
Yeah, that's been the Early Crow, episode 51, brought to you by Makita. Tom, on behalf of us, Praddy and I, our audience, and everyone who's ever watched a game of football, best of luck, my man. Go well, be strong, be safe,
go well.
have a great week on the track, and bye for now.